I'm sure it's no surprise to you that the world is pretty stressful right now, so it was my intent to find some relaxing games to calm the nerves for this episode of Indy 5. Unfortunately, several of these turned out to be an emotional roller coaster, and well, I present to you 5 potentially relaxing games, but some are actually earth-shatteringly sad. Pending title. Air Memories of Old is an exploration game with puzzles, platforming, and flight mechanics. In it, you play Auk, a shifter going on her pilgrimage as she learns about the history of the world and its gods. I almost gave up on this game very early on because I encountered a pretty severe bug that I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to progress past, but finally I persevered and I'm glad I did. Developed by Forgotten Key, the game overall is a short one but packs a decent punch of content in its lore building, exploration, and temple puzzle sections. The flight portions are also surprisingly fluid and even playable on keyboard, though I do still recommend using a controller. The ending is a bit anticlimactic as the game feels like it's building towards this epic battle, and well, then I'm reminded that I found this game by searching the relaxing tag on Steam. I kinda feel like this game ended just a tad bit too soon. It could have used one more temple section, or a slightly more involved final boss, or something. It just left me wanting more, which I guess is not a bad thing. Speed Dating for Ghosts is a delightful short dating sim by Copy Chaser Games where you discover ghosts have just as much trouble dating as the living. Through the course of the game, you meet a variety of spooks. Some are sweet, some are shy, and some are just flat out gorgeous. Each ghost you meet has multiple endings, and as you progress, you unlock the ability to date even more supernatural creatures. There's some actually super touching moments that hit you in the feels as you learn how these different ghosts die and the way that they choose to spend their afterlife. It's always fun to see where the different dates will lead you, from visiting their spouses who are still alive, to attempting to scare the living, to robbing banks. All in all, it's a really fun, simple dating sim that keeps you excited to see who will be across the table each time the bell rings. Regency Solitaire is, well, a solitaire game. There's not a huge amount I can say about the gameplay beyond that. The game is a variation of Golf Solitaire with the addition of goals such as streaks, perfect hands, and revealing hidden pictures. However, the game of cards itself is wrapped in quite a bit of style. Set during the Regency era, the game has that classical Jane Austen vibe going for it. The writing isn't incredible, but it serves the purpose, though I do find it funny that one of the main plot points is a brother who's buried in gambling debt, since in the game your character earns money by playing cards. All in all, Grey Alien Games created a relaxing solitaire game with a fun premise and really nice art and character design. Except this guy. I hate this guy. There are few things more relaxing than a farming sim. Starting with nothing and gradually building to a large operation farm is one of the most satisfying things you can do in gaming. However, the Stillness of the Wind is not that game. In this game, developed by Memory of God, you play as Toma, who is working hard to keep a dying farm alive. It's a very isolating experience, with your only interactions being with the wandering trader who brings you letters from your loved ones who have all moved away. The story is left very ambiguous, and serves more to elicit a strong emotional response than to provide a clear conclusion at the end of the game. And man, the emotional response was real. I finished this game late at night with the intention of going to bed after, and instead played another game to clear my head. This game made me cry, it made me confused, it made me angry, and it made me feel futile. I loved it though. I truly love this game. It's not going to be for everyone, but for me, this game was very cathartic, and I'll always appreciate it for that. Okay, PSA before we get into the next game. If you have not played any of the Rusty Lake library and are into taboo things and point and clicks, do yourself a favor and go play these games. With that out of the way, The White Door is one of the latest games in this fantastic series by developer Rusty Lake. In it, you play as Robert Hill, a patient in a mental health facility who suffers from memory loss. In the game, you go about your rigidly scheduled day, and at night you begin to remember your past. The Rusty Lake games have always been some of my favorites, due mostly in part to their quirky, bizarre, and at times flat-out gross story. Each game is very ambiguous, and you could probably play them in any order. The puzzles themselves are rather easy, and may leave hardened adventurers adventure gamers wanting more, but it keeps it approachable to a wider audience, and considering how niche the games are stylistically, I can hardly fault them for going a little easy on the puzzles. Hey everyone, I just wanted to thank each of you who have subscribed and have been keeping up with this silly little project of mine. I can say with utmost certainty that I will never run out of material for Indy 5. In fact, I recently picked up the Itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality, so now I have another crazy long list of games I can scroll through in these videos. But in all seriousness, while I don't have a massive platform here, I still want to use it to promote positivity and equality. I'm working now to select games for the next episode of Indy 5 that are all created by Black developers. I'm also going to link blackgamedevs.com in the description for anyone who is interested in finding developers to support. There's been a lot of stress in the world, and I hope that all of you are taking care of yourselves and taking care of each other. Be safe.